Good evening everyone. Last class we solved equations of motion by using integral calculus method in normal method. So today we are going to start a new topic. So before we start the new topic, I would like to ask some question. Is that clear? Then you just tell me, when the batsman hits the ball in the cricket, when the batsman hits the ball, what kind of the path the ball will take? What kind of the path the ball will take? And we know very well the ball will move like this. Exactly when the batsman hits the ball. Okay, and likewise you can take a basketball. So we have a basket, we have to shoot the ball in the basket. Okay, so when the basketball player throws the ball, what kind of the path the ball will take? The ball will take in the path of like this. Is that clear? So simply I can say that the path followed by the body in either case we are calling what? Parabola. Is that clear? So in this topic we are going to derive, or we are going to find the reason why if we throw any body with some initial velocity, here you can see that the batsman hits the ball with some velocity, and here also the basketball player throws the ball with some initial velocity. Is that clear? So in this topic we are going to derive, or we are going to find the reason why any ball, or if any body which is thrown with some initial velocity, why it will take a path of parabola. And when the ball is thrown, or when the ball hits, you can see that horizontally it covers some distance and vertically it covers some distance. Is that clear? So we are also going to derive the formula to find the distance traveled by the body in the horizontal and the distance traveled by the body in the vertical. Is that clear? In either case you can see that here also we are throwing the body with some initial velocity, here also we are throwing the body with some initial velocity. Is that clear? So first, so that's why, so this topic we are calling what? Projectile. It's called as a projectile. What is the projectile? If you are throwing the body with some initial velocity, after that, if it is falling under the influence of gravity alone, it's called what? Projectile. If any object is throwing with some initial velocity, if it is falls under the influence of gravity alone, it's called what? Projectile. It's called as a projectile. So here you can see that this is the what? The path followed by the body. You can see that. So here you can see that so we are throwing the body here. We are throwing the body with some initial velocity in the horizontal direction, not just what? Upward. We are not at all throwing the ball in the upward, even single. Is that clear? We are purely throwing the ball with some initial velocity in the horizontal direction. And what kind of the path it will take? It will take path like this It will take the path like this. Is that clear? At any instant, if you want to know the direction of velocity, for example, I want to know the direction of velocity at this point, I have to draw what? A straight line, resultant velocity. I have to draw a tangent line. At this point. So I told you that. So here you can see that the resultant velocity is acting along this direction, and which means it is acting in the incline, and because of that there is some velocity, resultant velocity shared in the y-axis. There is some resultant velocity shared in the x-axis. Is that clear? At this point, the direction of resultant velocity is acting along this direction, and because of that, the contribution of resultant velocity not only in the x-axis, not only in the y-axis. It is shared in the x-axis, it's shared in the y-axis. So this velocity in the x-axis, I can take a ux. The velocity in the y-axis, I can take as a uy. Is that clear? That's why I told you the projectile motion is the combined effect. The combined effect of what? Two velocities. So this is a projectile motion. This projectile motion is due to the what? Combined effect of two velocities. Is that clear? So there is a velocity some x-axis, there is some velocity in the y-axis. Is that clear? So we can also consider the motion in the projectile. It's also we can consider what? The motion in a plane. Which means there is some velocity in the x-axis, there is some velocity in the y-axis. Okay, and here you can see that what I am telling, this horizontal velocity will not be affected. will not be affected because there is a no air resistance. There is a no air resistance. Is that clear? Which means there is a no force is present to oppose the what? Horizontal velocity, so that it always will be, if you want to know the velocity in the horizontal direction, it always same. If you are measuring the velocity at any instant, the horizontal velocity always same. But coming to vertical, so in the vertical, so we know that the gravity is acting, the gravity is acting, and because of that, the body, which is the velocity of the body in the y-axis, may increases or decreases at a constant rate. Maybe it will increases by 9.8 meter per second square, or it may decreases by 9.8 meter per second square because of what? Gravity. Is that clear? So I can write the ux will remain same any time. You can measure what? The value of velocity in the x-axis, that is remain same, but the value of velocity in the y-axis, it will be what? Affected because of what? Affected by gravity. Is that clear, ma? Okay. And after that, here we made what? Three assumptions. The first assumption I told you, there is no air resistance, and second assumption is which means the effect of the rotation of the earth. So when the earth start to rotate, or because of the curvature of the earth, there is no effect, ma. We are negligibling the effect due to the rotation of the earth and curvature of the earth. And third assumption is first assumptions. In first one, what I told you, no air resistance, ma. And second one is what? We are neglect the what? The curvature of earth and rotation of the earth. The effect due to the curvature and rotation of the earth, we are negligibly. We negligible. Okay. And second thing is what? Then third thing is we are assuming that what? So the acceleration of gravity, always same. That is magnitude is also same and the direction is also same. What is my magnitude? Always 9.8 meter per second square. What is the direction of acceleration? That is always acting in the downward direction. Is it clear? Here what I told you, it is a combined effect of two velocities. That is the first thing, and there is no air resistance, and the effect due to the curvature of the earth and the rotation of the earth, we are negligibly. And the third one is the acceleration of gravity value is always constant, and the direction of acceleration of velocity is also what? Constant. That is always acting in the downward direction. So we can call the projectile motion as a what? The motion in a plane. At any instant, there is some velocity in the x-axis, there is some velocity in the y-axis. Horizontal velocity will not be affected because no force is present to oppose the horizontal velocity. But in the vertical, there is a gravity. So the gravity will affect the what? The velocity in the y-axis. That may increase the velocity or it may decrease the velocity. So this is the fundamental about what? Projectile. This is the fundamental about a projectile. Is that clear? So now we will derive the motion of a body along in the horizontal directions, along in the vertical direction. So here, so we are throwing the body at some height from the ground. That is y, or I can call it as a h. So we are throwing the body horizontally. Please understand this one. We are throwing the body in the, because there are two types of projectile motion. There are two types of projectile motions. So when you throw the body with some initial velocity in the horizontal direction, it is called one kind of projectile. And when you throw the body, with some initial velocity, so that it makes some angle with the horizontal. First one, it does not make any angle with the horizontal, and second case, you can see that we are throwing the body so that it makes some angle with the horizontal. So in this topic, we are going to derive an equation. We are throwing the body only in the horizontal direction, which means it does not make any angle with the horizontal. Is that clear, ma? So purely it's moving only in the horizontal. Here the theta equal to 0 degree. It does not make any angle, ma. So that's why I told you. So we are throwing the body, or we are throwing the ball with some initial velocity purely in the horizontal direction is called u. And I told you the path followed by the body will be like this. Okay, this point I can take as a, this point is a O, and intermediate point I can P. So this is the what? The trajectory. The trajectory of the what? Projectile motion, that is OPA. So OPA is the what? trajectory. Is it clear, ma? Trajectory. Is it clear, ma? And here you can see that, ma. So I want to know the distance traveled with. But here you can see that when you throw the body, here you can see that horizontally it travels some distance, and vertically it attains some distance, ma. So I want to know the distance traveled by a body. Distance traveled by a body in horizontal and vertical, ma. In vertical. Okay, so here horizontally travels some distance and vertically it attains some distance. So clear, ma? So that is why I already told you, know, it's called motion in a plane. So it's a motion in a plane. We are considering what's the motion in a plane? Two one-dimensional motion occurs simultaneously. Whenever there is some distance covered in the x-axis, there is some distance covered in the y-axis. So here you can see x-axis covers some distance and y-axis covers some distance. So what I told you, it is a combined effect. It is a combined effect of two velocities. Now what happened? The horizontal velocity, due to horizontal velocity, there is some distance in the x-axis. Due to what? The vertical velocity, there is some distance in the y-axis. So by using this one, I am going to find the motion along horizontal direction. The motion along horizontal direction, which means I want to know the distance traveled by the body in a x-axis, ma. In a x-axis in time t, ma. Okay. So which equation will help us to find the distance traveled by the body in the horizontal direction? In the horizontal direction. So I can write that is second equations of motion, s equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. So we are talking about only the horizontal, so that's why I should take only what? The horizontal velocity, ma. In place of s, I can put x, ma. Distance on the x-axis, that is x ux t, ma. Plus I told you that, what I told you, in the horizontal there is no force is present to oppose the what? The motion of the body, to oppose the velocity of the body, which means no force, which means force is 0, ma. Then the acceleration is also 0. That's why the horizontal velocity will not be affected. So in place of a, substitute 0, ma, t square, the x will be equal to ux into t, ma. That is equal to t equal to x by ux, ma. Is that clear, ma? So this is equation 1. Okay. So by using these equations, you can find the distance traveled with the body in the x-axis, ma. By solving this, I can find the time taken in the to reach what? A. Time taken to reach the A, that is t is equal to x by ux, ma. X by ux. So this is the motion along in the horizontal direction. Now next thing, the motion in a vertical. So for vertical also we have to what? Second equation, we have to write second equations of motion. That is s equal to ma ut plus 1 by 2 gt square, ma. Okay, in place of s I can put y, because in the vertical, you know, that is equal to, we are talking about only in the vertical, ma. That's why in place of u I can put what? Velocity in the y axis into t plus 1 by 2, ma, g t square. So this is the distance traveled with the body in given time t. The same time there is a distance traveled, the body travels some distance in the x-axis. At the same time the body covers some distance in the y-axis, that is u by t plus 1 by 2 gt square, ma. Is that clear? This is equation number 2, ma. This is equation number 2. Is that clear? This is the motion along the vertical, this is the motion along the horizontal, this is the motion along the vertical. Is that clear? Next, I told you know why it will take a path of parabola. If you throw any object with some velocity, it will take path of parabola. So let me derive what? The reasons why it will take the path of parabola. So verification, that's called what? Verification why the path of the body is parabola. So substituting equation 1 in 2, ma. Equation 1 in 2. Is that clear? So from this, in place of y you put y ma, in place of uy you put y ma, in place of t we have to substitute the first equation, that is x divided by what, ux ma, சரிங்களா, plus 1 by 2 g in place of t x by u x whole square ma. Is that clear ma? I am going to verify why the path of the object is parabola. That's why we are substituting equation 1 in 2 ma. So y irukuma, then uy in place of t we have x by ux plus 1 by 2 g in place of t we substitute what, x by ux whole square ma. Okay, now so y equal to ma, so I can write uy ma x divided by ux ma plus 1 by 2 squaring the x square u square, we will get ux square, x square divided by ux square ma, சரிங்களா. So we will assume that what, the velocity in the y axis we are taking initially it is 0 ma, because we are throwing the velocity only in the horizontal direction, no, there is no velocity in the vertical direction. That's why we assume that u value equal to 0. So from this y equal to, in place of I put 0 ma, this whole equations become 0 ma. Okay, so from this 1 by 2 ma g x square divided by ux square. Okay, so I can rearrange the equation as that is g, is that clear, 2 ux square into x square ma. Is that clear? The acceleration of g is a constant. The initial velocity is also constant, which means the horizontal velocity will not be affected. So only there is a displacement only in the x-axis. So I can compare this equation with what? Equations of parabola, that is y is equal to k x square. This is the equation of parabola ma. This is the equation of parabola. So look at the equation. In place of k we have what? G ux whole square ma. ux whole square. So here k is a constant. Here g by 2 ux square is a constant. Here x is variable. Here also x is variable. Is that clear? So I solved the equations. We found the equation which is similar to parabola. So that's why if we throw any body, it will be a parabola. It will be a parabola. Is that clear? This is a verification. And next one, I am going to find time of flight. Time of flight. What is my time of flight? The time of flight is defined as, it is the time taken by the body to reach the ground or to hit the ground. The time taken of the body to hit the ground. Which means here we saw, if you throw the body like this, it will come like this, It will come like this. Is that clear? So there is some height in the x-axis, that is h. There is some distance in the x-axis called x ma. I want to know the time taken to reach the ground. Is that clear ma? So please understand this one. If you are throwing the body, if you are releasing the body in this direction, or if you are throwing the ball in this direction, so both will take same time to reach the ground. Which means if you drop the ball, or here I have choppies, So if you drop the choppies, it will take some time to reach the ground. Likewise, if you throw the ball in the horizontal direction, it will take some time to reach the ground. The time taken between the two cases always same. Okay, so I can tell you the time taken is independent. The time taken by the body to reach the ground is independent of what? The horizontal or the vertical. Always same. Is that clear ma? So that is what I call it. Time flight, the time of flight. So what is the time of flight? The time taken by the body to reach the ground. So this will be time taken. Is that clear? So we know that from the second equations of motion, y is equal to that is uy t plus 1 by 2 ma. So 1 by 2 gt square ma. So I can replace this small t equal to what? Caps t. The small t is what? The distance traveled by the body at any small instant or any instant. What's with this t? The total time taken to reach the ground. To reach the ground or to reach the ground. Is that clear? So you can write y equal to uy ma. In place of small t, you put caps t ma. You put caps t plus 1 by 2 g, we have g ma. In place of caps t, so small t square, I can put caps t square. And we know that initially there is no velocity in the vertical direction, so I can take uy value as a 0. Uy value is a 0. So y equal to ma, that is 1 by 2 g t square. We know that what is my y? So y equal to height ma. Y equal to height. So I can write it as h equal to 1 by 2 g t square. Sorry, cap t square ma. Cap t square. Now you transfer the 2 this side ma. That is 2h equal to g t square. From this t square equal to 2h by g ma. 2h by g. Or I can write t equal to root over 2h by g ma. This is called what? Time of flight. The time taken by the body to reach the what? To reach the ground. That is t is equal to root over 2h by g ma. Is it clear ma? This is called time of flight. Is it clear? And next one, we want to know the distance traveled by the body in the x-axis and as well as in the y-axis. So here because I told it will take some time to reach the ground. So during that time it will travel some distance in the x-axis, it travels some distance in the y-axis. So I want to know during that time the distance traveled by the body in the x-axis and distance traveled by in the y-axis. So the x-axis I can take what? Horizontal range. Horizontal range ma. That is caps R. So what is the formula to find the distance traveled by the given time? So we know that is x equal to ux ma into t plus 1 by 2 g t square. So we replace with the small t what? Caps t. Replace with the small t with caps t. Is that clear ma? And we know that in the horizontal the g value equal to 0. G value equal to 0 ma. So from this x equal to ux ma caps t. Ux caps t. So x equal to ux ma. What is the value of t? The value of t is what? That is we solved as 2h by g ma. 2h by g. So this is the distance traveled by the body in the x-axis during the time of flight. During the time of flight ma. That is x is equal to, or we can replace it to what? Caps R. Caps R. Is that clear? And next I want to know during the same time what will be the distance traveled by the body in the y-axis. Now again that we can call it as what? Vertical range. We can call it as a vertical range ma. Now we will find the vertical range. So we know that for vertical range we already got the equations. The total distance traveled with the body in a particular time caps t, which means called what? Time of flight. So we got the relationship between time of flight and the height. That we studied that t square equal to 2h by g ma. From this h equal to, so you can see that t square g by 2. So this is the distance traveled by the body in a time of flight. Is that clear ma? Is that clear? Now second thing, next one is what will be the resultant velocity in the projectile? Resultant velocity at the point of, or we can say that resultant velocity when it hit the ground. Hit the ground ma. Is it clear? So we know that at any instant, this is the path followed by the body. At any instant the velocity of the body, which means here we throw the body in this direction ma. We throw the body in this direction. There is some velocity in the x-axis and there is some velocity in the y-axis, but we know that the initial velocity in the y-axis is 0. So this is at the point of what? Releasing. We want to know what will be the velocity at this point when it is hits on the ground. So initially, even though the velocity in the y-axis is 0, but at the point of hitting, it will not be 0 ma. So I can extend this line like this ma. So there is some velocity in the x-axis. I can call it as a u. there is some velocity in the y-axis, I can call it as a v, which means the final velocity of the body when it is hits on the ground. Is that clear, ma? Then this will be what? The direction of resultant velocity. This is, I can take, ma, this is ux, ma, and this is I can take as a uy, or we can the final velocity, no, so I can call it as a vx and this is vy, ma. So initial velocity of the body at point of releasing ux and final velocity vx, ma, and initial velocity of the body at y is uy, ma, then final velocity at the hit is vy, ma. So we want to know the velocity occurred by a body in a given time t. Here the time is what? Time of flight. The time of flight, which means the time taken to reach the ground. When it is reached the ground, we want to know the total velocity in the x-axis, total velocity in the y-axis. So we want to know the velocity of the body in a given time t. So which equation we will use? First equations of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at, ma. So we want to know the final velocity in the x-axis. So I can write that is for x-axis vx equal to, what is the initial velocity of x-axis? That is ux, ma, plus a, what is the t? Time of flight. And we know that there is no acceleration in the x-axis. So vx equal to ux. Here you can see that, ma, the initial velocity and final velocity is always same. That is why we are telling that when the axis is 0, at any instant the initial velocity is always equal to what? Final velocity, both are same. This is for in the x direction. So I can take the initial velocity, the final velocity in the x-axis equal to ux. It is acting on in the I cap, x-axis. And the velocity of the what? In the velocity in the y-axis when it is hits on the ground, which means the final velocity of the body in a time of flight w. Is that clear? So from this we can write the final velocity in the y-axis equal to initial velocity in the y-axis plus gt, ma. Initial velocity plus gt. So vy equal to, what is my uy? Uy is a 0. So I can put 0 gt, ma. Is that clear? So this is the final velocity in the y-axis. It is acting along j cap. This is the final velocity in the y-axis acting along the j cap. So the resultant velocity at the point of hitting, that will be equal to the vector sum of what? Horizontal, the vertical velocity and the horizontal velocity. So that will be equal to vx I cap plus vy j cap. Is that clear, ma? The resultant velocity will be equal to the sum of the velocity in the x-axis, sum of the velocity in the y-axis. Is that clear? So to find the magnitude, of resultant velocity, we know that the total velocity or the resultant velocity will be equal to root over the velocity in the x square plus the velocity in y square. So this is the magnitude of the resultant velocity when it is hits on the ground. There is some velocity in the x-axis, there is some velocity in the y-axis. So this is the velocity of the body at the point where it hits on the ground. So by using what? We know that, we studied the formula to find the resultant value of velocity or resultant value of two vectors when the two vectors act in two different directions, that we studied in the motion plane. So by using this concept, the total resultant velocity will be equal to the root over vx square plus vy square, ma. Is that clear, ma?